Permit me then to begin with an allegory. You know what an allegory is? It is said that one day truth had an appointment in a certain town where people were very anxiously waiting for him. And it was a hot day, and truth was walking along a dusty, narrow road toward those people who were waiting. And finally the heat was almost unbearable, and as Truth was going along, he saw through the woods a pond. And Truth thought, I think I'll take a swim and cool off in this heat. So Truth went aside and pulled off his lovely white clothes and hung them up on the boughs of the trees and jumped in the water and was just enjoying himself. But you know, wherever truth goes, lie goes. And lie heard that Truth was going into town, and so he came along following. And he too was caught in the heat, and when he finally came to the place where he saw the pond, he thought, I'll go aside and take a swim and cool off a little bit. And so he went over to get ready to jump in the pond, and suddenly he saw Truth's clothes hanging on the tree. And Lie, being sneaky, got an idea. He said, I'm going to let the swim go. I'm going to simply steal Truth's clothes. So he pulled off his old raggedy clothes and threw them on the ground, and he put on the lovely clothes of Truth, and he got back out in the road, and he went walking on into town. The people were anxious for Truth to come, and when they saw this thing coming, they began to rejoice. Here comes the truth. Here comes the truth. Until finally a perceptive elder amongst them said, no, hold it, people. Hold it. That's not the truth. That's a lie with Truth's clothes on. And after a while, Truth got through with his swim and came out intending to get dressed and go on into town. And when he got out, he noticed his clothes were gone. And he was very disappointed. And he wondered where they could be. And as he looked around, he saw the old ragged garments of a lie. And Truth decided, before I wear that, I won't wear anything. So he just started down the road as he was. And when the people saw him coming, they began to rejoice and shout, and they cried out, look, folks, here he comes, the naked Truth.
Beloved, if the church systematically and benevolently supported God's work, you wouldn't have bingo, not to support church, and you wouldn't have raffles, and you wouldn't have all these dinners in the church, selling tickets. Come on, say amen now. In fact, I got a poem I'm going to read to you. It says, there was a church in our town, and it was worldly wise. It tried to pay the preacher by selling cakes and pies. The sisters made the ice cream to send the gospel far. They ladled out the oyster stew and raffled off a car. They had a harmless game of cards to make the social pay, and then a dance for timid souls who were too shy to pray. The effort was a great success. From floor to lightning rod, the church had everything it needed except the peace of God.